Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe is right. I don't want to be like you. Come on, man. I'm the face of boxing. I'm the cash cow. I hold the record with you.
My drop, I know my drop, I know my situation. I want to
Production.
But it's going to be very difficult for both of us.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another spontaneous edition of the Boxing Voice. We are back with some breaking news, rumor mill. It's a little up in the air, but multiple sources are reporting that Mikey Garcia is official versus Robert Easter for a unification at 135 pounds. Robert Easter being part of About Billions, being promoted by Adrian Broner, a guy that Mikey Garcia already beat. This is going to be an interesting little topic because there's some other things out there. We all know that there was a big offer by Golden Boy to Mikey Garcia, not only for the Miguel Cotto fight, but also for the Jorge Linares fight. So if this is something you're interested in, something you want to talk about, if Robert Easter and Mikey Garcia are two guys you'd like to see mix it up, well, join us. We're going to be talking about it right here, me and the Hipster Hunter. So the number is 1-425-569-5241. International callers, add Nestor Gibbs on Skype. That's NESTORGIBBS. Let's go on out to the Golden State for the Hipster Hunter.
ThaBoxingvoice Production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock into a knockout. Now, when the main thing is, I just hope the guy, I wish.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Yes, the Hipsters here. Haters beware. God, it feels good to be back. Nestor Gibbs, glad that you're back in town, back in Jersey, you know, the Garden State. It's good to just be back in the show, back in the chair in front of the mic. You know, I miss my TBV family out there. It's good just to be here. But yeah, Mikey Garcia versus Robert Easter Jr. is a fantastic fight, and I would say the best fight you can make in that division. I would say it's the best fight you can make at 135 pounds, without a doubt. And we potentially have it, according to a ton of sources. So can't wait to chop it up. Can't wait for callers to come in here and sort of delve into this matchup because, yeah, I think Mikey Garcia is the favorite. But I think Robert Easter Jr. is going to present some issues to him that Adrian Broner could not. And I think this could be a much closer fight than some may predict. So I can't wait to chop it up.
Well, before we or I get into how good of a fight this is, I want to ask you some questions here because you were a Linares fan. And I don't mean that in the traditional sense. I mean in the sense that you were kind of, I don't know, campaigning for this fight. Linares and Mikey, you kept making Linares out to be the biggest name in that division, not name Mikey Garcia. Are you disappointed that he did officially now turn it down since it's obvious that he's going to be facing Easter?
I think Linares presents that, not legacy, but he presents like this history. Like he's a story. He has experience. He has a storied career, if you want to call it that. That may be a little bit hyperbolic, but I feel like that's what you can say of Linares. He's the veteran of the division. So if you beat him, I think that means something. I think it absolutely does. Robert Easter Jr. is one of those guys that, while very talented, I think doesn't get the respect that I think he is deserved. And I think a lot of people are counting him out, especially after the Denis Shafikov fight. A lot of people are counting out Robert Easter Jr. now. So I think the perception of the public consensus may be different than what my consensus is. Because I think, technically speaking, Robert Easter Jr. and Mikey Garcia is a much better fight than Mikey Garcia versus Jorge Linares. Because Jorge Linares and Mikey Garcia, to me, represented a passing of the torch fight. Not necessarily the best fight you could make. While still being a top 3 fight in the division you can make, it was maybe not the best fight, in my opinion. So I'm not upset.
And what is Linares' biggest win in your opinion?
I mean, Corolla's a decent win. I think you don't like it just because of the amount of losses on Corolla's record, but again, I'm the type of person that losses don't mean as much.
Why are you trying to put me in a box?
Kevin McDonald was a good win. I mean, there were some good wins in there.
So,
I would say his biggest fights were his losses. I would say that.
So, is it safe to say that Easter and Linares are arguably on the same level, or does Easter hold the better win? Because was Richard Comey a champion, or was that for a vacant title? I think Richard Comey was probably the IBO champion for sure going into that fight.
There was some champion. I forget which one. I think it was IBO. But again, you may think Richard Comey has a better win, and not Richard Comey. Robert Easter Jr. may have a better win off of Richard Comey or even Dennis Shafikov.
No. I'm clearly axing. ING, because people love to say ax.
I'll put it this way: you can definitely make an argument that Robert Easter Jr. has a better win, but Jorge Linares has a much longer career and a much more established name. I would say, like Robert Easter Jr. is a little bit more of a. Even though he's a champion, a lot of people I would say just underlook him. Like he's one of those guys that just floats under the radar in a lot of ways.
Now, obviously the local Toledo news, what's his name? Jordan
Strack
is reporting this, and multiple other sources.
BadLeftHook.com, which obviously is SB Nation.
ESPN has one.
They're reporting and they're talking. Eric Gomez even referenced that Mikey Garcia did tell him that Robbie Easter Jr. was offered to him. So this fight was.
Well, actually, I would like you to pull up the Eric Gomez quote because that sounds a lot better than the way you phrased it. Because it just proves that this is official. Because this is a quote from not the vice president anymore. He's the president now, right? What's his official title? He got promotions a bunch of times.
He's the president. He's the president now.
Okay, there you go. So give the official quote from president of Golden Boy, Eric Gomez, who let me just let you know a little history on him. He started off as a matchmaker, then he went up to VP, and then when everything with the Heyman and Richard Schaefer, he moved up to full president. So his Twitter handle is Make a War because again, he started out as a matchmaker. So still does that role in Golden Boy because he was the one dealing directly with Mikey. But Hunter?
Again, this is a Dan Rafael article on ESPN if you want to find it. Gomez, in reference to Mikey Garcia, says, in previous conversations, he told me he had a huge offer to fight Robert Easter Jr. I don't know if that's still the case. We wish Mikey well, and then he goes on to say that it's basically a business move. And this article was written November 10th. So that was yesterday. So yesterday, this article was written.
There you go. So it's
and very quickly, Jordan Strack's exact words on his Twitter account, his tweet, he said, "It's official. Robbie Easter Jr. will fight Mikey Garcia. Date and location is TBA, but the unification fight everyone wants to see is happening." That's where Jordan.
I seen something else because again, I get multiple sources are reporting. I see something else said January.
Yes, there was. Oh, I forget which outlet, but it said December or January is the targeted date for this. I would predict that's probably January.
Yeah. Like, who's gonna do another fight in December? Even though you could end the year big, I mean, you still got time to end the year big. But wow, 2018 shaping right on up. I mean, you know.
Remember, January of this year was very stacked in terms of showtime in their.
Wasn't it a Badu Jack fight in January and a Wilder, right? Wilder fought January.
No, Wilder fought in February or March. There was Badu Jack, Gervonta Davis, Mikey Garcia. There's a Carlo Frampton. All those guys fought January, February. And obviously we have Earl Spence, Lamont Peterson, January.
Didn't Keith and Sean fight January, March too? That's when we had the appreciation night.
March as well. So their first quarter was stacked. So I assume Showtime is going to load up the first quarter of next year as well.
So before we take any calls, and remember the number 1-425-569-5241. This is a spontaneous show. If you're looking at it right now on YouTube or whatever platform, we're actually on speaker and soon to be on iHeart. So shout out to the merger with our platform. So you guys can find us on all Android devices, iPhone devices, iTunes, everywhere basically now. So Yeah, the number 1425-569-5241. Press 1 if you want to voice your opinion on this. So, Matt, I guess the bigger question here is, how much is Mikey getting? And not that I want to know a number, okay? I don't want to know a number. That's not really what I'm asking. But to know that, I guess Heyman came in with a bigger offer, because essentially they would have lost Mikey to whatever network was going to help get that Linares fight, whether that be ESPN or HBO. They would have probably lost him to that network due to that fight. Could he come back?
I do know very quickly. I do know that Oscar De La Hoya and Eric Gomez did say on the record that they were willing to have this fight be on Showtime. Linares and well, of course, Linares was on Showtime. Remember, Linares has no exclusive deal. Linares is one of those guys that network hops. He's always been that guy. So they were completely willing to make it on Showtime. They even said, I believe, whichever network was going to offer up the most, that was the one they were going to go to.
Wow.
And Showtime, again, had a ton of interest in Mikey Garcia, period. And they even were setting up a Linares fight before Robert Easter Jr. So I don't think it's a network issue. I think it's more of a promotional issue.
Let's be realistic.
He doesn't want to deal with Golden Boy. Let's just be real. He doesn't want to deal with Golden Boy.
Who?
Mikey. I don't think he wants to deal with them.
Well, I don't know. I think it might be an issue of money, right? Check it out, though. Yo, Broner's a 1.25 minimum. Think of his fights. Paulie's, Albuquerque, he's getting 1.25. You know, Mikey beats this dude moving up in division. His mandatory minimum must have just moved. Just think about it.
So what?
I don't know. Does he immediately take Broner's A-side purse now? Is he $1 million fighter? A 1.2?
Could potentially be that. Absolutely. Remember, I believe still to this day, his fight with Broner this year is the highest rated fight on Showtime this year.
Now, another thing, I mean, wow, this is just so interesting. If you're Robert Easter, and I know, look, I mean, coming from the inner city and thinking of it from an aspect of basketball in the gym, if Broner was that dude, cutting everybody up, crossover, and Mikey came and schooled them on the basketball court, I could see a Robert Easter wanting to get next. But we're talking about punches to the face. It's a totally different thing. I mean, do you really think? I mean, obviously, I don't know. It could be money that made him, take the fight. But was he on the outside? Like,
we have to think.
I could do better than this.
One, Mikey Garcia, like you said, now represents some money. He represents a money fight in some way,
and fame, fame now.
Absolutely. So Robert Easter Jr. may think this is my quickest way to stardom. If I beat Mikey, I'm instantly a guy. I'm instantly
maybe Matt, because this fight is going to be very important now. Now there's no Broner. So we're going to see just how much rubbed off on Mikey. Because we always think Broner can make someone a star, but he doesn't. He stays popular. Win or lose, he stays popular. But the other guy, it doesn't really do much for them.
But Mikey, we know Mikey has, in terms of internet metrics, YouTube metrics, Mikey is somewhat of a star in boxing. Boxing star, not necessarily a Canelo star, AJ star, obviously, but a boxing star. He's one of them. I mean, you don't think Mikey on CBS with Robert Easter Jr., let's say hypothetically, that's the main event, that doesn't do 3 to 4 million views? I think it does.
What?
I think on Showtime it could break 1 million. I think Mikey could be that guy that brings Showtime over 1 million views again. That was only 2 years ago when that happened.
You think Mikey Robert Easter is gonna do?
Yes,
1 million.
It can be promoted correctly, and it could definitely do those numbers.
Did what Broner Mikey didn't even do that.
You can stick Broner back in the mix in terms of storylines.
No. But did Broner Mikey even do that?
No.
Okay.
But then again, you can also say that Broner has a little bit of shine being taken off of his stardom. Robert Easter Jr. is just coming up guy. And Mikey, I gotta
agree with my man since 93 Sports in the chat. I gotta agree with him. Mikey isn't that known by the casuals, man.
Well, I would say it depends where you are. Like in LA, he's known. Like if you go to any Hispanic neighborhood in the LA, SoCal area, they know who Mikey is.
Now, what kind of a draw is he in terms of ticket sales? Like, is there going to be an argument about this? Because we all know that, my guy Robert Easter could definitely sell out Toledo. And he could sell out Cincinnati. He could do Cincinnati.
Let's not forget that he's done multi-million views on Bounce TV.
Yeah, I wonder.
Draw,
but I wonder how much they're paying. Like they're not even a competitor for this fight. Even with all those millions, you think they're throwing their name in the hat to go up against Espinosa and the big guns?
Who's they? Who do you mean they? Oh, Bounce
with their fucking 480p.
God, no, of course not. But again, if you're pulling, let's say, 1 to 3 million views on Bounce TV, which no one has because it's not an actual number channel, it's a point number channel, so it's 28.3. Nobody has that. So if 3 million people are being able to watch that, that means there's interest. There's 100% interest in Robert Easter Jr. How big of an interest that is, I don't know, but you can capitalize on this fight. This will be a main event, absolutely.
Shout out to the Finish Works band saying that Robert doesn't fight tall, which I agree with. I never met a tall, long fighter like that doesn't fight like Tommy Hearns. But he also says that the fight will happen in Brooklyn. And, I might agree with that too. Brooklyn Barclays Center is paying big money to get all these fights. They really want, I'm telling my girl, she wants to go to Cali, and I'm like, all the fights are over here, bro. Everybody's flying over here.
Let me go to the fights. Come on.
Huh?
Let me go to the fights. We stay in studio and do immediate reactions now.
Yeah, but still, all the work is still here. You know what I'm saying? But I hear what you're saying. I'm going back to it. I'm just saying Brooklyn, or does Mikey have a shot at getting? I don't know what StubHub does. What, only 4,000, right? So that's too small.
It would be the Forum or Staples.
Forum. How many in the Forum?
Honda.
How many in the Forum?
Was that like a 15,000, 14,000 seater?
Now, does Mikey and Easter think, hey, Mikey beat Broner. This is a unification. Fuck that. Take me to Vegas.
No.
Okay.
No. I don't think Mikey Garcia has really been a Vegas guy.
I mean, it's still the West Coast.
True.
You don't consider it that.
I don't. But where was this fight with Broner? Where was that at again? Was that in New York? Was that at the Barclays?
Probably, man.
I think that was at the Barclays.
I don't even remember.
I can see the Barclays pulling it off because Mikey's fought there, I believe, in his last 2 fights. He fought there against Dejan Zlaticanin and Adrian Broner, I believe. So I could see the Barclays definitely pulling this off. But I would be very upset of Al Heyman and PBC and Showtime on not trying to capitalize on Mikey Garcia's potential stardom in LA. Because if you become a star in LA, you can transcend the sport. It's like becoming a huge star in New York.
Center is Broner and yeah, but what do you mean capitalize on LA? Where you want to see him fight in LA?
I think Stapleton would be the best place.
Yo, talking about Mikey here, man, this kid's got 37 fights, 30 knockouts, and people not talking about him that much. He's not talked about that much, man. I mean, it's not like you're at the water cooler and they're mentioning Canelo and Mikey. Like, I mean, come on. I mean, just be honest. Look, and it's no disrespect to Mikey.
As in fighting each other, right? Or just
listen, Matt.
No, I'm not disputing it. I'm not disputing it.
I'm not telling you to dispute it. I'm about to ask you a different question, right? It's just like in your real life.
Mm-hmm.
we don't even have to, because honestly speaking, I don't even have to make hypotheticals. With all the boxing talking that I do, who talks to me about Mikey? How much does he come up in our life? He really doesn't. So, I mean, that other comment about he's not known to the casuals.
It's just different for me because I live in LA. So when I talk to
doesn't matter. No one calls in here like, oh, he should fight Mikey. Mikey should fight him. No, they always want to see Canelo or Triple G or Anthony Joshua or, you don't hear Mikey.
Well, again, you're talking about like a rarefied air. Like, again, like we shit on Triple G's pay-per-view numbers, but he's outsold multiple UFC pay-per-views this year. But to put that in perspective, because a lot of boxing fans think that the UFC is so much bigger. Triple G Jacobs outsold multiple UFC pay-per-views this year. Triple G Lemieux outsold multiple pay-per-views this year. So Triple G is a top 3 or 4 star in the sport. That's a rarefied air. AJ, Canelo, when we're talking about those people, no one's up there. Like, no one else is up there. And,
Yeah, but
it's a big gap between those guys and then the Thurmans, the Spences, the Devin Haney.
If you keep in mind those guys that you feel are up there, and think about their resume, their number of fights, it's right in line with Mikey. And think about what Mikey's done. Again, he should be being spoken of. He has moved up multiple divisions and been a multiple division champion. But it's just not there, Matt. It's just not there.
He may have a ceiling on his stardom. He may not be an Oscar De La Hoya.
Oh, no. I'm not saying he has a ceiling. I'm saying maybe Oscar's right. There's a headline out there. And I know to Mikey and Team Mikey and everybody, they're going to be like, oh, Ness is crazy. This is the best Mikey's been doing now that he's his own boss. But at 37 wins, 30 KOs, multiple division champion, and got a shutout over Broner? What's changed for him, Matt?
I think we haven't seen that yet. I think if he comes back and let's say he fights Robert Easter Jr. in January and it does blockbuster numbers at the gate, on TV, then we say, well, then it obviously did something for him, right? Like, we don't know yet. That's more of a question mark. We have yet to see him capitalize on that fight because he has not fought since then. Once he fights after Broner, then we have a proper understanding or perspective on what is Mikey Garcia right now. What is his commodity? What is his drawing power?
Are they dropping the ball? I mean, in between fights, we see Trout commentating. We see Wilder take to the Showtime podium. Earl Spence, Keith Thurman, Adrian Broner. Where's Mikey at? Why can't Mikey be on Solo Boxeo commentating or whatever sister network Showtime has in Spanish? Or why isn't he there in English? Where's Mikey at? Broner lost last time I checked, but they had him in a split shot with the champions.
I mean,
where's Mikey at?
Let's not forget that Mikey was part of, I forget what fight it was, but it was, I think, the Linares fight. No. It wasn't that fight. It was a big fight. I forget what it was, but he was part of a Showtime broadcast. He's been a part of telecasts before. He's been put up there this year to become a star. This has been a breakout year for Mikey. You can argue that. Absolutely.
Yeah, wait. He wasn't on a telecast that I remember post Broner fight.
Not post Broner fight, but leading up to the Broner fight, yes, he was.
Yeah, so the people know who he is before the fight. But that's what I'm saying. Capitalize off the win.
Look, I don't watch Mexican TV or Spanish TV, I should say.
I do. I do for boxing. Whenever it's boxing, I have it DVR'd and shit.
I don't watch ESPN, really. So I don't know where he's at. I don't know how much he's featured. I'll be honest.
True.
Me either. I just don't.
Me either. But I'm going off of our fan base.
Our metrics say that he's at least up there. He's of the level of a Thurman or Spencer.
I mean, I don't know what metric it is that you're using. In our comment section, he's not. His name is not there.
I'm not talking about comment section. I'm talking about views. Because people could still watch you but not be passionate about you. Because like we put on a Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, anything that gets tons of comments. But the views could be similar to, let's say, Mikey Garcia thing. It could be. I forget. Did we do a live fight chat for Mikey Garcia, Adrian Broner? Did we do that for public?
I don't know.
Because I bet those numbers would be interesting.
I don't know, dude. I'm gonna just tell you, I have all types of overtime topics. Stories rather. I guess, listen, if you're watching this in the future, present, past, hit that thumbs up button. Helps with the visibility of the show. Lets us know you enjoy this content. Gives Matt another metric and analytic. So then he's like, yo, Mikey Garcia, boom. He's checking the boxes. People want to talk about him. I'm just saying, I think if we go through our videos, our show topics, Mikey's not a constant headline.
That may be true. No. I agree with that. 100%.
Not even in the boxing news. I mean, he's talked about when he's talked about. But there's fighters that remain in the news
And he's not one.
daily.
He's not one of them.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to say. He's not a Canelo and whatever other top guys you think are. And I'm not saying he's not a top guy, because again, that's what I'm saying. Compare those other top names, resumes and accolades. He's there, but he's just not being talked about in the same manner.
In terms of drawing power on US TV or just air or whatever metric we're going to use for drawing power, do you think Mike Garcia is a top 10 star in the sport?
Ooh, I like that right there. Top 10 star in the sport. I guess he has everything to be the top 10 in the sport. He's just got to get it done. I want to go to this comment here. I don't even know how to pronounce this. I'm gonna say Himes. I don't know. HYMNZ 100. He says Mikey just seems like he don't like that limelight, and that might be true.
Might be an Andre Ward.
That might be true. He might be an Andre Ward type of guy. And you know, those guys put a ceiling on themselves. They really do. They really do. What? Talking down on fighters? No, I'm not. Get your weirdo ass out my chat before you get blocked, you weirdo.
Yo, why even look at the chat, Ness? Come on. Don't you always tell me don't look at the chat?
I mean, but some comments deserve a little bit of, interaction. This is a, talk show. So I'm just interacting with some of them. Like my man Himes that laughed out loud because I screwed his name up. So, well, we got a few callers. And remember the number 1-425-569-5241. But, I mean, this pretty much is it. We just got to wait on a venue. I would like to see this stay somewhere, though. Actually, no, I guess that would be unfair to Mikey. But, Easter can do good numbers in Ohio. He really can. He's been in Cincinnati, like on Broner undercards, and he's been the headline in Toledo, and they always sell it out. And if they stack it correctly with those same type of guys, the Warrens, the Broners, what's this guy's name? Easter. But I don't know that Mikey would want to go to that hometown.
We could make it in New York, and we know that Rob Easter fans travel because his fight against Richard Coleman was not in Toledo.
Yeah, no, he had buses. Buses. If you check out my interview post-fight with him, he had buses for his fans. I mean, he's a draw locally for sure. For sure. He's doing he's doing his thing.
East Coast, he could be a regional star, absolutely. For ticket sales, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they might keep it over there.
Shout out to Igloo, making sure that we touch down with the touchdown. Matt, I think it's time to final thought this one.
Final thoughts. I think it's a great fight. I think it's one of the best fights you can make in the sport right now in terms of just technical matchup, style clash, two young undefeated guys. I love it. I love everything about this fight. I'm a fan of both of them. I'm a fan of both their styles. I think somebody has to go, and it may not mean anything because I think whoever loses will definitely bounce back and be a champion again or be a contender again. Absolutely. But yes, and we're gonna be back for a live fight chat, right, Ness? For Daniel Jacobs versus Luis Aries.
Yeah, what time is that starting? Where's my remote?
That starts in an hour.
Damn, still?
Yes, and ESPN starts in an hour and a half. Obviously, those happen at the same time, so I don't know how we're going to do that. So, but we're definitely going to watch Daniel Jacobs, Luis Aries. That's the big fight of the weekend.
Definitely. I don't know. So, how much time exactly do we have before something pressing is that we have to do? Because I would love to sneak in a "What do you want to ask Rigo" show since we're going to be making a trip to Miami. Shout out to TBV family, all the Patreons and all our super chats. Me, Matt, and Alex Doomsday Lainez is going to be taking out TBV Roadwork, hashtag TBV Roadwork. We're going to be heading down to Florida to visit Guillermo Rigondeaux for his upcoming fight with Vasil Lomachenko December 9th. We'll be there from Monday to Thursday or Friday, something like that. And yeah, man, I think we need to go down there, guns locked and loaded, and we're better to get ammo than from our listeners, right? Because they have the questions that they want answered. We just got to go get those answers. So I don't know if there's time, maybe we can do that. And if not, you guys can always drop that right here in the comment section. But yeah, my final thoughts are good for Showtime. Good for Showtime. They were able to solidify another big fight, meaningful fight, not just pay for one guy. You know, this is good. This is not like a, you know, A side getting a tune up or anything like that. So shout out to Showtime. This is a really good fight, one that I'm very interested in, and we'll be covering from the beginning till end. So yeah, find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO, and yeah, we'll be right back with a live fight chat. And make sure you subscribe to the channel because we're looking to do that. What do you want to ask Rigo show for sure, Matt?
And I'm Matt the Hipster Hunter. You can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram, and my MMA podcast, Mixed Combat Radios on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. Peace.
Peace.